we're going to get into some things tonight that we have not previously gone over. We're going to go over some things in detail tonight that, let me get my camera straight here. It's going to take me just a couple of minutes to get in zone with what I'm doing here. So let's take this here. Let's set it up like this. Okay, so that's good. Okay, how's everybody doing tonight? Good to see everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to adjust the light just a little bit here, and I'm going to let the room populate just a tiny bit. I'm going to show you guys something tonight. Good to see you first. I'm happy you're here. Are you a person of justice? Are you a person of justice? Are you? I mean, it's a fair question to ask. You know, are you a person of justice? And when I say that to you, when I ask you if you're a person of justice, that has a very specific connotation to it. So I want to get into some details of some things tonight that are going to show you some ways in which, because right now we're powerless, right? We're powerless. When you get the cop on the street against you, right? Unless you're a constitutional law scholar, you are completely and utterly powerless against that cop. You don't have any recourse when you're dealing with that cop, right? So now there's a couple different kinds of people that we're going to break this down into, which is why typically I don't wait for the room to populate. I just go right into what I'm going to talk about. But on this particular case, I'm just going to give a couple minutes for the room to populate so that we can actually get to a place of better understanding. Because we have a way now to create an organization that is a decentralized organization. It's called a DAO. It's a decentralized autonomous organization. Okay, I'll stall for you for a few minutes here, Virginia Cop Block. I just got out of the gym, so I'm still sweating here. I still got sweat coming down my face. Maybe I'll even crack that door. Give me a second. Let me crack my door so I'm not so hot in here. Now, the things that I'm going to show you tonight, you're going to have to want to put yourself in a category. You're going to want to put yourself in a category so that you can define who you are and exactly what role you're going to be playing as we move forward into a future that is completely set up to be tyrannical. The only chance that we have is to bond together through a decentralized autonomous organization called a DAO. And that DAO, what it will do is it will be a total and complete game changer. And you know, I'm going to break it down right now into some very simple steps of understanding. I don't need these glasses. I don't want the reflection. So I'm going to teach you guys some stuff tonight, and you guys are going to learn some things tonight that are going to make it so that you can categorize who you are in this fight for freedom and justice. Because who's here for the Constitution? Who's here for the Bill of Rights? Who's here because you believe fundamentally that our rights have been stripped away from us? And I don't care if you want to go back to the Organic Acts, or you want to go back to the 16th Amendment, or you want to go back to the 13th or 14th Amendment, but our rights have been completely and utterly stripped away from us entirely. We now no longer have any rights. The only rights that we get is if we go through the justice system and we pay for it, and we go completely, booty up to make sure that we can pay for the legal fight to take on the criminal justice system that shouldn't have charged us with a crime to begin with, right? And so what I have done is, and I'm in the process now of starting a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. Can someone type that in there for me? Someone type that in there for me. A decentralized autonomous organization. Can you just type that into the comment section so that we can leave it up here for the people who are going to read the comments later? You guys do me a favor, reach over, take your finger and just hit your like button. See your finger right there? Just reach over and I think your like button is right there or it's right there. And then I'm just going to get into this. So if you're new in the room, I may do a recap here in a moment, but I first want to show you guys the actual system that's been created against us, not for us, against us, and how if we do not bond together, if you and I don't know our roles and we do not bond together, then this government is going to become more and more tyrannical. And what do we all want? We all want to live to a Bill of Rights standard. That's all I want. I don't want to overthrow the government. I don't want a revolutionary war. I don't want tyranny. I don't want any of those things. When the shooting in this country starts over a revolutionary war, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be killed by some moron who doesn't understand that our Constitution was set up and the way our Bill of Rights was set up. I'm willing to die for this country. I don't want to go to a revolutionary war. I want to get it so that we can get together before that happens, before we have to go to a revolutionary war. I don't want to go to a revolutionary war. Do you? I don't. I don't want to see my uncles, brothers, cousins, lovers, best friends, sisters, brothers. I don't want to see people get shot in the street as we fight for our Bill of Rights again, as we fight for our Bill of Rights again. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to lay out some things here for you now. I'm going to show you guys some things, right? And we're going to get really into it. We're going to get really into the minutia of what we can do and what's happening right now. So right now, let's just say there's two sides. Let's say there's two sides. Let's just say that there's two sides. Let's just say that. Now, we know that when you cut it down the middle, right here, and on this side over here, you have police, judges, government, right? And you have that on this side over here. This is what you have on this side over here, right? And so what is the tip of the spear of policing? What is the tip of the spear? The tip of the spear is the cop. The cop on the scene, this is the tip of the spear. This is the major point of emphasis, right? Now over here on this side, you have your citizenry. You have your citizens over here. So now this is just two sides. There's only two sides you're looking at right here. All right. So where does the interaction happen? The interaction between the government on this side and the people on this side, the tip of the spear, the interaction between the people and the government is the cop. So if we make the cop a stick figure like this, and I'll write that better so people can read it, and if this is a C-O-P, that's a cop. So this is your cop. This is the tip of the spear, the cop. Okay? Then on this side, this is the people. Okay? So on this side is the people. I'm just going to write it out. And on this side is the cop. Okay? Now, how does this interaction occur? How do we have, if the government is on one side and the people are on the other side, how do we have the interaction between the cop and the person? How does that happen? The interaction happens 90% of the time through Terry versus Ohio. Now we know this through empirical data. This isn't data that I'm just making up. I'm not just making up this number for myself to be true. We know this through empirical data that the tip of the spear, the interaction between the police and the citizen, 9 out of 10 times, that's going to start as a Terry stop. That's going to start as a Terry stop. So now, I talked to an auditor yesterday on direct message on Facebook, a guy named Jeff Gray. The name of his Facebook page is called Honor Your Oath. So if you guys want to type that right there, his name is, his Facebook page is called Honor Your Oath. If you guys want to go by Jeff Gray's page and say, Chili was talking about you, Jeff Gray and I go back over a decade of being in this fight for justice and being in this. So now we understand the basics here. Is everybody clear? Let me put my glasses on and say hello to everybody. So if you guys want to say hi, let's do it right now. Let me. Enabler, good to see you, Enabler, the OG. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good to see you, True Technique. Aza is in the house. Good to see you, Aza. I hope I'm saying your name properly. Thank you so much. Honor your oath. I want you guys to tell Jeff Gray I said hello, because I'm going to show you guys something that is going to absolutely blow your mind. How you and I, through a decentralized autonomous organization, can create apparatuses where the tip of the spear is our tip of the spear, where we hold the cards, and where we put the police on the defensive as far as legalities, the court system. Because I want to say it again, I have no interest in a revolutionary war. I have no interest in going to war against police. I have no interest in violence. Zero. If someone says to me, hey, I can't wait for the revolution, you and I disagree, my friend. I can. As a matter of fact, the reason why I'm standing in front of this camera right now and talking is to avoid the revolution that seems to be coming and coming no matter what we do. Denver, good to see you, Steve. Steve Mazur's in the house. Aza's in the house. Sandman is in the house. A Hot Mess, good to see you. What's Awareness? Brandon Mitchell's in the house. True Technique is in the house. Good to see you, True Technique. Thank you guys for coming by. Out here in Denver. Hey, True, I'll be coming to Denver pretty soon. I'll be in Albuquerque. I'm gonna, you know what? I don't want to get off track here, but so what this talk right now is about, and you could probably start the video at 12 minutes, because now I'm really gonna get into the detail here. Now I'm really going to get into the detail, and I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to ask you what you are, and I'm going to ask you to define yourself, and then I'm going to ask you to ask others to define themselves. This is a very important talk, because we're on the precursor of having a decentralized autonomous organization. We're on the very cusp of having a decentralized autonomous organization that will be a total and utter game changer for justice, for the Constitution, for the Bill of Rights, for transparency, for financing. Let me get into it. Albuquerque, good to see you. Thank you guys for coming by. So now let's go back to the graphic here, and I'll try to keep it as succinct as I possibly can here. I'll try to keep it as interesting and as neat as I possibly can. So now what we're looking at here is we're looking at when you have the people on one side and you have the government on the other side. And let me just hide these real quick so I don't have to see them. Okay. So when we have the people on one side and the government on the other side, the interaction between the citizen and the police, which is typically the FBI, your local police department, your borough, your city, your district, the interaction between police and citizens, the very tip of the spear, the very interaction is typically a Terry stop. Or the tip of the spear, when it's not a Terry stop, is called an audit. Okay? It's called an audit. When the cop is being audited by the people, when the people are going to that public library and filming, when the people are going to the police station and filming in the back parking lot, that's what an audit is. That's the tip of the spear, where the people now break down, and I want to ask you which one you are. Okay, so just to make it simple so we don't get terminologies confused, the one who's doing it, this is an auditor. Okay, so this is an auditor right here. So if the people are an auditor, then the cops or the government is being audited, right? Does that make sense to you? So when there's an auditor out and he represents the people and he's not being Terry stopped, which he eventually could be, there's the cop on the scene, and the cop is doing government duties, okay? And when I say government duties, what I'm talking about is the cop has to work within the color of law. That's what has to happen here. This is what has to happen. Because if this cop works outside of government duties or the color of law, then he's in violation of our rights. And who are the arbitrators of our rights? The government. So the government has our rights over here, and for all of this time, in case you guys didn't know, the reason why I was arrested so many times in my 20s was because there was no camera phone. I could recite the different things I can recite now, but I would be arrested because there was no camera phone. There was no transparency on the scene. And furthermore, once I was arrested, then for me, before there were cell phones and all those things, it was absolute hell to be able to get out of jail. And then I never got to hold any of those cops accountable because I didn't have the money to file a 1983 in federal district court against that officer. My friends, things are changing rapidly. And so now you understand. So the government has been the arbitrator of what our rights are without transparency. And now that there's transparency, we can clearly see where our rights are being encroached, where they're being infringed, where they're being diminished, where they're being disvalued. We can see that now. It's plain as day. You see it out there, and Jeff Gray sent me an audit yesterday where he was auditing, and so let me get to it. This is extraordinarily exciting. You guys are going to be extraordinarily excited. This is going to be a game-changing video, even though I'm just doing it on a whiteboard here. Okay, so the cop is doing his government duties. This is the cop. There's the cop. He's doing his government duties, and he's going to Terry stop the auditor. Okay, so what I call this is the tip of the spear. Right here. This is where the rubber meets the road between the people and the government, right here. When an auditor is auditing the cop and saying, hey, are you respecting that person's rights? We have a right to film here. The First Amendment applies. This is where everything happens. Now, which one are you? One, are you the auditor? Or two, are you the POJ? Are you the person of justice who is watching the auditor, who is watching his video, who supports the auditor, right? So a person of justice, and I'll just spell it out here. A person of justice are most of the people who are supporting the auditor, who are watching the audit, who are calling the cop shop, who are calling the Allied Security that happened to me the other day, right? The person of justice is the bulk of the freedom fighters in America. It is not the auditor. The auditor is the tip of the spear. The auditor is the one who enters into the danger zone with the cop. The person of justice has a wife and kids. The person of justice has a different life than the auditor. The person of justice is sitting at home watching what the auditor is doing and watching that auditor be taken to jail. Now, there are three fundamental understandings that if you're an auditor and you've gone out and audited police, you know there's three things that can happen. The first one is that when I go to audit the cop, and you've seen me do it, I send them packing. It's called the walk of shame. I send them packing. I know my rights. I know the law. You can't violate my rights just because you signed up to be a cop. The lowest rung, the lowest thinker. We have the dumbest people with the most power. That's America right now, which is why we're upside down. The second thing that can happen, the cop can tell me that he's going to arrest me unless I back down, and then I have to do the walk of shame. And the reason why it's a walk of shame, and you should be ashamed as you walk, because I know my rights. You don't have any right to tell me to walk away, but I have to walk away and do the walk of shame because, and this is what I was talking to Jeff Gray about the other day, he was doing an audit on his lunch break. People were depending on him to come back from lunch. People were depending on him to pick up the kids from school tomorrow. Jeff Gray could not get arrested. So the first two are the walk of shame for the cop or the walk of shame for the auditor, which Jeff Gray was put into a situation where he had to do the walk of shame knowing that his rights were intact, but yet he had to walk away under threat of arrest. He had to give the cop his ID under threat of arrest. So what happens when Jeff is unwilling to show his ID? That's called taking the ride for justice. You're a person of justice. I'm an auditor of justice. I'm actually a civil libertarian for justice. But most people who are watching this are auditors for justice, or you're a person of justice who supports that auditor. The only way I'm standing in front of this camera right now talking to you, and the way I give away all my posters, give away all my ebooks, and I never hesitate, is by people of justice who support me. I'll get a Venmo for 50 bucks. I'll get a Cash App for 100 bucks. I'll get $20. I wake up, there's $10 on my PayPal. That's how me, the tip of the spear, that's how I keep going, right? So you're a person of justice. You know, with your wife and 4 kids and your job at the plant, you cannot go out and audit cops. You cannot get in the face of a cop and have to deal with going to jail. Your 4 kids will not allow you to do that, right? And so the individual people who support me, thank you guys for your support. I appreciate that. Quick shout out to my supporters. Thank you so much for being people of justice and backing me up. However, with the decentralized autonomous organization, I'm setting up an apparatus where every single person who is the tip of the spear does not have to back down from that cop. Jeff Gray was put in a position where he was told, either you give me your ID or I'm going to arrest you. And Jeff Gray had to give the cop his ID or face arrest, even though his rights were being violated. And that's called being willing to take the ride, right? Do we all agree on that? You've heard these terms before. Walk of shame for the cop, walk of shame for the auditor, or take the ride for justice. And as you guys know, I got a phone call from a girl tonight wanting me to go out and audit. And I said, listen, I can't tonight. I have court tomorrow, and I'm always willing to take the ride. You're not going to violate my rights, or I'll go to jail and I will sue your ass, right? Okay. So with a decentralized automated organization that's in the works right now, that I'm starting right now. You folks are this is the first actual open talk. I've been doing this for weeks behind the scenes with my nephew, who's a boy wizard in coding, and he does all those things. We're doing W3 on the blockchain, and it's so cool. It's amazing. Let me show you what it does. Let me show you what it actually does. So you go out, and you're the tip of the spear for justice. And behind this man, behind this woman, behind this person who's out auditing these dirty these police officers, this person right here, he's backed by persons of justice. James Freeman, Badasow, me, Disorderly Product News, Accountability for All, the guys who go out on the street and take on the cop at the tip of the spear. These are your auditors. These are your men of action, your women of action, your persons of action. Now, this cop is a Neanderthal moron, has no skills, doesn't know anything. He knows how to follow orders and do what he's told. And as long as he's willing to hurt you and put those rings around my cousin's wrist, you see those rings in 10 minutes around her wrist, as long as he's willing to torture people and take them to a dungeon, well, then that fathead has a job. He's going to be hired. He's going to be able to be a disgusting rat monster for years to come, and the system will protect him. The government, with our rights, will protect this scumsucker because he's a cop. And so now when it comes here to the tip of the spear, where the auditor's involved himself with the cop, and the cop says, if you don't give me your ID, I'm going to arrest you. And what I want the auditor to say is, go ahead and do it. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you to arrest me for not showing my identification when a crime is not being committed. And just so you know, this fathead cop, he will do it. He will arrest you. And then you have to be willing to take the ride for justice. And then you have to get out of jail. And then you have to come up with your missed wages for the next day, because it takes your family a day or two to get that money. And then you have to be willing to file a 1983 against that fathead cop that arrested you. And so you're totally spun out. Enter the decentralized automated organization. And what that organization is called, it's called TAC. And this is the Terry Auditor Coin. That's what that is. It's called TAC. And when you are a member of TAC, you wear this gold medallion. You wear this gold, it's a sticker. It's just a sticker. And across the sticker, it says TAC for Terry Auditor Coin. And what does the Terry Auditor Coin do? What does it do? It is a legal fund that when you tell the cop, I'm not backing down, I'm willing to take the ride, that cop, you got this TAC sticker. You got this TAC sticker on your cheek, you got the TAC sticker on your chest, you got the TAC sticker on your bag, on your phone, on your camera. You have this TAC sticker, and persons of justice, you have the TAC sticker. It's on your door, it's on your profile. It is an announcement that you are a part of a decentralized, autonomous organization. That when this auditor here, when this man of justice, woman of justice, when they tell the cop, you can go and pound sand, I am not giving you my ID. You are out of bounds. I will not be giving you my ID. You don't have the right to take my ID from me. You can take that idea and shove it up your nose, you fathead cop. What we do at TAC is we bail you out. We get you out of jail. You're not going to sit in the dungeon. You're not going to that dungeon for more than a couple hours. Because in a decentralized autonomous organization, the moment you're arrested, we are notified. I can't go into all the technological stuff, but consider it like an application. It's like an app. And as soon as you're taken to the dungeon, we're notified. And then every member of TAC, if you hold TAC coin, like Bitcoin, right? Then what it does is we send out an alert across the TAC app, and we say, Chili DeCastro in Phoenix, Arizona, auditor number 042816 is in jail. And because we have 27,000 members on TAC, the bail's $850. Will you give 11 cents? Yeah. You see? Are you seeing the power of a decentralized autonomous organization? And there's no leadership. Once I put the coin into the water, I don't control anything. It takes me out. I'm no longer the leader of this. You are. What I've been trying to get people to do for a year now is you take ownership. I'm one man. I'm one person. But what I can do is I can set up the governance of the TAC coin. Do you follow what I'm saying to you? So that when the bylaws of the TAC coin, if you don't know what a decentralized autonomous organization is, tonight you guys get onto your Google, onto your YouTube, onto your DuckDuckGo, and you start learning about a decentralized automated organization. What it does is takes on the powers that be, and it gives the power to us. It puts the power in our hands. Not only do we bail this guy out of jail immediately, if he misses his wages or she misses her wages, we pay the day wages. And then TAC hires the local, right there, civil rights attorney, and we file a 1983 against this cop. We file a 1983 lawsuit against this cop. No delay. It happens within 24 to 48 hours. And then it only takes less than a year before pretty soon, when cops see the TAC logo, when they see the TAC medallion on your shirt, they go, man, you know what? We could arrest him, but let me tell you what's going to happen. Not only is he going to get out of jail tonight, they're going to sue me tomorrow. What happens when you hit someone right in the wallet? How come the auditor hasn't been able to stand in the fire and say, you know what, I'm just going to take the ride, copper? Because he can't afford to bail out of jail. His car's going to be impounded. Are you going to pay for the car to get out? So then he's calling his friends and family. And when you have a group of 10, 15 people, that bill's $150, $250, $600. If you only have 2 friends and one's your wife, one's your brother, well, then you guys got to come up with $1,200 to get you out of jail. The impound storage alone is $400. That's just to get you out of jail. Now you got to fight those charges. That's going to cost you more money. You see, it's because we haven't had a way to truly have a decentralized organization where they can't just arrest the leaders of it and it goes away. That's what they did to the Black Panthers. That's what they did to Fred Hampton. They murdered him in his bed. As soon as the Black Panthers organized and created a central leadership organization, they were all killed. All of them were killed. With the decentralized autonomous organization, once we're up and going, you vote. My power's gone, which is what you want. You don't want any one person in power, because what do we know about power? Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. You don't want one person in charge. Listen, I'm probably one of the most principled people you'll ever meet. I don't give what you offer me. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you don't support me. I'm on a mission. I don't give a damn what you think. You ever hear me go here and say, what do you guys want me to talk about next? I don't have those questions. I'm not here to be a entertainment with throw a nickel in his back and he'll do a little dance. I already did that. I'm not going to go work for corporate America again. I'm done with it. You want an executive for your company? Go hire someone who gives a about your thing. I don't care. I care that our country is on the tip of faltering. We are on the tip of a civil war, and this unchecked, unbridled, no third-party organization over policing is ruining our country. It is ruining our country. I have to watch people back down who are within their scope of their rights, and I've been watching it for 2 decades, and I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm not going to watch it anymore. So if you guys wanted something to look forward to be excited about, TAC comes out in less than a month. We're about a month away from launching TAC. Yeah, now. Right now. It's happening now. It's moving now, fast. There are people who I've contacted within the auditing community who are involved in this, and I'm not going to tell you who they are. Of course I wouldn't. I never say anybody's name. I said Jeff Gray's name because he's an old school auditor. Honor Your Oath on Facebook. Please go by Honor Your Oath and give Jeff Gray a shout out. I asked him if I could use one of his videos yesterday. He sent it to me within 2 seconds. I said, can I use that? Boom, here's the video. You bet you can. No questions asked. I said, of course, I'll show you the respect that you deserve, Jeff. He didn't care. He already knows me. I've been doing this for 20 years. Before it was popular. I flew up to Cop Block in New Hampshire. The guys, Adamo Freeman and Pete Eyre, E-Y-R-E, I believe his name is. I flew up and I met those guys in New Hampshire in 2012. I believe it was 2012. I flew up there and I gave them, I paid them for something they built for me as far as, and then I paid them in Bitcoin in 2012. So I've been on this ride for a very long time. I've been doing this for a long time. Now it's just to the point where I'm so sick of watching our rights be walked over that someone had to come out and say, no, you're free, Brave. You are free. You are free. You do not have to answer to that tyrant. He doesn't get to control every motion you do because he pulled you over. I've agreed to be detained. I'm on camera. I'm not going to beat you up. You're not going to get your ass whooped in front of everybody. I've agreed to be detained. My car is right here. I'm not going anywhere. You don't get to control my every motion. And if I was a homicidal killer, you'd be dead already. It would already be over for you if I was a homicidal killer. I'm not. I'm just looking for the registration in my car. Right? And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with cops that pull you over that are going to decide that all of your motion has been restricted. They control every bit of you. You will lay on your belly. You will sit on the curb. You will get on. No, I won't. No, I won't. And you will not tell me what to do. You're not my daddy. You're not the boss of me. With the decentralized autonomous organization, now, not only will you not tell me what to do, there are more persons of justice than there are auditors, times 10,000. Because people can't go out and do what these auditors are doing. People can't go out and film and go to the libraries and try to do stress tests for our fundamental constitutional rights. And so that's why I'm talking to you guys, because we're on the cusp right now of having a decentralized autonomous organization right this second, right this minute. So it's coming right now. By this summer, we will have it set up where if you're an auditor and you're streaming, number one, I can't go into all the details. I'm already saying way too much. My partners are going to be pissed, but I don't care. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for the liberty, for the freedom, for the justice, for your children not having to face a dungeon because they ran a red light. Because they crossed the road. Because the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, says that absolutely anything is an arrestable offense. Anything that you do, if you break the law, Atwater versus City of Lago Vista passed 5-4. The opinions written by David Souter, Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. Everybody here should know the case. The reason why George Floyd is dead is because of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. The reason why Eric Garner is dead is because of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. Atwater versus City of Lago Vista is a 2001 Supreme Court holding where Gail Atwater in the city of Lago Vista, Texas, is driving down the road with her children and they're running around the back seat. A cop pulls her over and he's seen her a month before where she didn't have her seatbelt on. So the cop decides he's going to teach Gail Atwater a lesson and he's going to take her to the dungeon. And he does. He arrests her for not wearing her seatbelt. Her husband gets off work. He's a person of justice. He says, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm suing. They sue. They go all the way to the Supreme Court. When it gets to the Supreme Court decides that, you know what? If the cop witnesses you break the law, any infraction of the law is what David Souter writes, that you can be arrested and it is not a violation of your Fourth Amendment right. And what is your Fourth Amendment right? The right to be free in your person, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. So is it a shocker that in 2001 an unelected, appointed elitist decides that you can be arrested for anything? Absolutely not, because he'll never deal with that. He will never deal with being arrested for no reason. David Souter and Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch and Amy Barrett Coney and Alito, Samuel Alito, probably the worst Supreme Court justice is Alito. He's the biggest cop sucker you've ever heard of. But the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista is the reason why some of the most pivotal people that you've heard about are dead. Are killed by the police, because without Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, George Floyd is a ticket, a simple ticket. You passed a funny $20 bill, here's your ticket, here's your court date, I'll see you then. Eric Garner, who's being accused of selling Lucy's 2014, Eric Garner, he's selling Lucy cigarettes, and so what should that be? That should be a simple ticket. Eric Garner should get a ticket. He should get a ticket for selling Lucy cigarettes. And instead of getting a ticket, they decide we're going to take you to jail because Atwater versus City of Lago Vista from 2001 says that any infraction of a violation of the law in front of an officer is an arrestable offense. And so let me ask you a question. Who's going to fight that? Who's going to fight that? Are you going to fight that? Are you going to jump in? Are you going to give Eric Garner the $15,000 he needs to file the civil rights litigation against those rat monsters who took him to the dungeon, but they didn't. They choked him out on the street and he was killed, and it was all legally. That cop, Pantaleone, he still has his job as a cop. He's still a cop for NYPD. He's on desk duty. He's still a cop to this day, and he choked out Eric Garner, and we get to see the video 40,000 times and over again, and yet that guy's still a cop. Because there's been no Dow. There's been no way to take it on. There's been no way to stress the court to the level where they say the people are suing. And the people are not suing in tiny numbers. The people are suing in mass numbers. The people are suing us. Yeah. And by the way, there's a case out of Utah right now on ASD docs. If you guys haven't seen the follow-up to ASD docs, that case takes on qualified immunity at the root at Tenney versus Brandoff from 1951. That case that ASD docs is showing to everybody, that case takes on qualified immunity at the root. Pearson versus Ray, 1967, is where you're going to get your QI, but the QI precursor is based off the 1951 case of Tenney versus Brandoff. That's the precursor. That's the actual basis of allowing qualified immunity. And as you know, qualified immunity is 8th on the list. It's not even in the top 5 of things we have to overturn. We first have a dozen. We first have Terry versus Ohio, and then we have Kerr versus California. We have Brenniger versus United States, 1949. We got Carroll versus the United States, 1925. We have Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. We have Federal Election Commission versus Citizens United. There are at least, and those at Graham versus Connor, use of force policy from 1989. I'm literally rattling off the cases that are far more important than qualified immunity. But the important thing to understand is when you talk about taking a case up to the top, to the Supreme Court level, there's something called ripeness. The case has to be ripe. It has to be ripe to get there. The fruit has to be just right so we can get it to the Supreme Court level. The case that ASD Docs is working on right now is ripe to take on qualified immunity right now. Right this second, the case is ripe. Right now, we can take it on. I'm going to head to Salt Lake City next week is what it looks like. Let me talk to ASD Docs a couple more times here and then see if it's okay if I go to Salt Lake City to bring in a constitution, because I don't have a bar card in Utah. So I can't go to Utah, and you have to have a resident of the state to sue for civil rights violations. It has to be someone who's been affected by the actual slighting or the denial of your constitutional rights. People keep asking me how to take on Terry versus Ohio. We first have to have an applicant who's been violated by Terry, and their case has to be ripe, and then we can go up the chain and try to get judicial review from Marbury versus Madison. 1803, Marbury versus Madison here. And so we got to get rid of the Graham versus Connor and Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. Not everything should make it so that you have to go to a dungeon. That should not be the case. That's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the justice who wrote that, he should have immediately been taken outside of the courthouse and impeached and removed from office. We did not have you become a Supreme Court justice so that you can say you don't have a First Amendment right. You don't have a Fourth Amendment right. That's not why we were appointed to be a Supreme Court justice. That's not what's going on. So, brings me full circle. We're on the cusp now, right now, with the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, where we're on the very tip of the iceberg now. So let me pull up your messages here. We also have the case of. I don't want to get confused. So I just turned on the comments here so I can just get a little feedback from you guys so we can talk just a little bit about. I don't know what was said, but I'm just taking a look at some of the comments now. T-Roy, good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. A hot mess. Yep. Taylor versus Rojas. Yeah, but we have to actually take it out. We have to take it out. We have to take it out. We have to take it out. I mean, we have to take these things on at levels that are big and grandiose. But the tip of the spear is what I'm talking about. I want to make it so that if you're an auditor, right? Let me hide these real quick so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, if you're an auditor or you're a person of action and you have gone out on the street and you've gone out on the street and you are taking on the very tip of the spear. You are in an interaction with a cop. You're in an interaction with a cop, and you are the person of justice you're the auditor who's fighting for our rights, and the very tip of the spear is that cop, and what that cop is doing is he's telling you that if you don't do what he wants you to do, that he's going to arrest you. The cop is saying, you know, I know that these are your rights not to show me your ID. I know it's your right to remain silent. I know it's your right not to be forced into handcuffs to cruel or unusual punishment. But the cop is telling the auditor, I'm going to arrest you anyway if you don't do what I say. And this is the moment of truth for the auditor where he has to be either willing to take the ride, go to jail, face the charges, bail out of jail, have to hire a lawyer for all of these things that the typical auditor, including this one right here, we cannot afford those things. I can't afford to go to jail, get my car out of impound, and then my kid doesn't get picked up from the babysitter. I don't have any kids. I'm just giving you an example, right? And so these are the things that happen to the auditor. What the TAC coin does is it makes it so that we're alerted when the auditor is arrested. We have him out within 2 hours. Him or her, we have them out within 2 hours. And then if you lost wages, we pay your day wages because you were willing to take the ride. You looked at that clown in his face and you said, go pound sand. And then the auditor, instead of him having to deal, we hire the civil rights attorney for you. You just show up to the meeting. We need you as the person who's filing the complaint against your constitutional rights being violated. We need you to follow through. We'll do the finance part of it. We'll get you out. We'll pay your day wages. We'll pay for the attorney through TAC, through the Terry Auditor Coin, the Terry Auditor Coin. Because when you buy TAC, it goes into 6 different divisions. One of those divisions, of course, is bail and lost wages. Another one's lawyers. Another one, of course, is take on the laws that are fundamentally against our rights. And then we have government relations, technology, and then emergency fund for people who are arrested for no reason and their rights have been completely and utterly violated. So I guess you know, and I was at the gym tonight. First time I've been to the gym in forever, and I'm on the bike, and boy, you know, I always like the wind sprints I do every day. I do at least 20 wind sprints a day where I go full burst 100 yards. So I do 2,000 yards of wind sprints a day. Because as you know, this past year, I've received death threats from both the left and the right. I've received death threats from cops, from BLM, from you name it. I've received all kinds of people who said they're going to beat me up. Good luck, okay? But what I'm trying to say is when I was at the gym and I was on the bike and I was pedaling and I was on the stair stepper and I was just thinking, I was like, you know, why don't I just, because here's the thing with the decentralized autonomous organization, it's all open source. You guys get to know everything we're doing. And once the governance is laid out, then you guys run the entire fund based on your voting apparatuses, based on doing contracts. If you want something voted on within the Terry auditing coin, then you put up a contract and you throw it up and everybody votes on it. And I don't have control over that. And to be honest with you, I don't want control over that. I don't want to control any other person. I don't want to be the boss of you. That doesn't interest me. I don't want to be the boss of anybody. I want to be the boss of me. I want to have my rights. I want to be free. And I want to be free to do whatever I want to do. So now you guys start to understand exactly what we're looking at doing here. You know, and that's where we're getting. That's where we're getting. So anyway, and then the other thing I wanted to go over tonight I appreciate that. So then what you guys have to decide, is who you are. Are you a person of justice? Are you? Is that what your role is in this life? Are you a supporter of the tip of the spear, or are you the tip of the spear? You have to make that decision. I can't make it for you. Are you actively involved? Are you reaching out to me, to James Freeman, to Accountability for All? Are you reaching out to individual auditors and in any way engaging with that person? Because let me tell you something. T. Roy, for example, T. Roy is the moderator in here, right? T. Roy is not rich. He's not rich. He's just a regular guy. But let me just tell you something real quick. Neither am I. I'm just a regular guy. And sometimes when I'm getting beat up and I'm going through hell, sometimes I get a phone call or a text or an email from T. Roy, and he just reminds me, Chili, you're doing a great job, man. Keep going. Keep going. I got your back. And T. Roy does that for me probably 5 or 6 times a week, because I get so many influxes of calls of people who want me to help them with stuff. And dude, I want to help as many people as I can. But are you reaching out to people who are auditors that you believe in and showing support to that auditor? I wouldn't be here right now if people didn't support me. It's real easy to have a big ego, and I've got one, believe me. But the truth is, I'm humbled every single time when it comes to how I make a living, because I'm an executive. I can run any company. Once I know the nuts and bolts of any company, I can run your company, I can run her company, I can run any kind of company there is. But I haven't taken a job as an executive since 2019, when I was an executive in my own company for 4 years, a technology startup. And so what I have learned over this time where I was an executive, so my whole history of life has been, I do what I want to do, and then I run out of money, and then I get a job as an executive for an advertising agency or a marijuana shop, or, one time a fitness equipment company, you name it. I can go in and I can do almost anything, right? And then I money up for a year. The last one I did was for an advertising agency where I opened the Manhattan office, and I made $250,000 in 9 months. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. This isn't my love. And so I quit that job. That company sold for several $1 million. I should have stayed on and kept the stock, but I didn't care. I don't care. I don't give it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Unless it has to do with making this country a better place, overturning Terry versus Ohio, getting rid of the use of force policy, overturning Johnson versus Glick. I don't care. You can't get me to focus on it. I don't care, right? When my nephew called me up and he explained to me what a decentralized autonomous organization was, when he explained to me how it works with the governance of the body so that I don't have to be the CEO or the boss of this organization, let me tell you something. I have been studying and researching decentralized autonomous organizations ever since. And now that we're in the very beginning steps of creating the coin, it is absolutely crazy, the power that this gives to the people. The power that the person of justice now has. The person of justice buys the coin, and then what they can do with that coin is they can then control the narrative from their living room. From their living room. So if you see something happen in Mesa, Arizona, and you say, I really hate what happened over there, you can then contact your favorite auditor and go, hey, Chili, because I'm here in Mesa, and you go, Chili, you're in Mesa? Let me send you $200 on the Terry auditing coin. Can you go out to Mesa and audit that cop out there? I'm talking direct specifics. I'm not talking like some wide ranging, like, oh, it can kind of do this, it can kind of do that. No. I'm talking specificity. I'm talking exactly. And then the best part about it is when the auditor has the interaction with the cop, the message to the auditor is going to be, we don't want you to back down. Take the ride. Take the charge. We're going to get you out of jail. We're going to hire you a lawyer, and we're going to sue that rat monster. Do you see? Yeah, and just so you guys know, I have a real problem. I have a real problem with people who go out, and what they do is they put themselves in the perfect position to take the ride. They put themselves in the perfect position to be willing to take the ride for justice because their rights have been violated. And instead of taking the ride, they back down. And when I see that happen, I think to myself, you're not really in this for justice. You're not really in this to change America. You're in this for views. You're in this so you get more views on your YouTube. You're in this so you get more likes and more comments. Hey, what do you want to see me do next? I just think to myself, man, you are a clown. You are an absolute clown. You know, yeah, we're gonna do an NFT out of the poster. We're gonna do it. I need listen. I need an illustrator. I need someone who's good at Illustrator that can help me do a once over on the poster, because this took me forever with a good friend of mine named Mo, and Mo put in a lot of time to help me get this poster to where it is. But the truth is that I need a once over on this poster, and then what we can do is we can turn this into an NFT, and that's what I'm gonna do. So that's I just need an illustrator, someone who can come in as an illustrator that can take the nuts and bolts of what I've already built and then just refine it a little bit. You can't see the bars and some stuff, and so I just want to, so it is what it is. It is what it is. So anyway, that's all. When you see someone who is the tip of the spear and they put themselves in a position where their rights are going to be violated and they should not back down, and then they back down anyway, right? To me, that person is doing us all a disservice. I don't want to see where the cops were going to violate your rights. I want you to be willing to take it to the edge. I want you to take it to the edge and take the ride. That's what I want to see happen. And, for a lot of people like Jeff Gray, who I was talking to about the other day, he couldn't do it that day. He couldn't take the ride. Okay? He couldn't take the ride. He couldn't take the ride because he couldn't afford to and by the way, I work in production a lot as a producer or an executive producer. And when I'm working as a producer or an executive producer, I can't go to jail that day. People need me to go back to set. People need me back on the set to run the set, because that's what I do as an executive producer or as a producer. I can't leave set. So I can't, if I go audit cops, I cannot get arrested that afternoon and miss set. Do you follow? I have to finish what I'm doing. You guys do me a favor, reach over and hit your like button. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's down there. Just hit your like button. Just take 1 second. Just whoop, 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 whoop. Just reach over and hit your like button for me if you would, please. Just reach over and hit your like button. Just reach over and take your finger like this and just push the like button. Either it's up there or it's down there. Just push the like button. Just push the like button. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I didn't see any of the comments. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for the super chat. Armagani Press is unbelievable. You guys, I don't know him personally. I want to say his name probably. Amagansett Press. Is that how I say it? Unbelievable. One of the top auditors in America is I don't want to say his name incorrectly. Anybody want to give me the spelling of that? I would love to make it say it properly. Oh, by the way, I watched this guy the other day, Direct D. I watched Direct D the other day. Talk about a guy who's got courage. Direct D has got some courage. Direct D, I was super impressed watching Direct D's videos the other day, because I don't really have time to sit and watch people's videos. I'm absolutely too busy. But Direct D, Armagansett Press, is that what I say it? But I watched Direct D the other day, and let me just tell you something. He did not back down 1 inch from that cop. The cop told him to get off the sidewalk. He said, no, I'm not getting off the sidewalk. Dude, I was like, because I was looking for auditors in Phoenix. I was just looking up auditors who were in Phoenix, and then I remember Direct D was here in Phoenix, so I went and took a look at his page. And let me tell you something. That guy's got brass cojones, amigos. Brass cojones. And so does I'm a Gonset Press. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And just a real quick shout out to the people who have been reaching out to me and supporting me. And if you guys want to get in on this TAC, on this Terry Auditor Coin, it's starting right now. I'm literally, Lackluster is amazing as well. I'm not supposed to even be saying all this stuff right now, but there's no point, because when you learn about decentralized autonomous organizations, you find out that everything is up front, everything is written out, everything that we do, where the money goes, how the money's distributed through the corporate governance, how that thing is all laid out. You get to know it right off the bat, and then everybody can work on it. It's open source code. There's just better ways to and so. Yeah, I don't know James Freeman. I think he's in Tucson, and I wanted to meet up with James Freeman in Tucson. So I definitely want to meet him one day. He's one of the top guys. If you guys aren't supporting James Freeman, why aren't you? James Freeman gets by persons of justice who support him. That's how James Freeman and ASD and everybody I've mentioned, that's how we get by, is by people of justice who support us. That's how we do it. That's I wouldn't be here right now if people didn't buy my posters and buy my ebooks and support what I'm doing. That I just wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to be here. I'd have to take a job on a set, or take a job as an executive in someone's companies who I don't care about. So yeah. So that's what I kind of wanted to just jump on here and talk about. Oh, and then the other thing was a third party organization, right? So when you take a look at the prison graph here, and you see this prison graph take off like a rocket right here, it's because Terry versus Ohio, what it did is it gave police discretion to arrest anybody they wanted. Now, we know what happened within the prison population. The black population skyrocketed, the Mexican population skyrocketed, and the white population drizzled a little bit, but that doesn't mean that that white people weren't being arrested as well, because they certainly were. But what happens here is when you give the police absolute autonomy to decide who they're going to arrest, then you're going to end up with a tyrannical state based on prejudice and discrimination. Not even necessarily racism. Those words are all different. Prejudice, discrimination, and racism are 3 different words. So you have to understand that. We're all in this together. I did see that comment, so let me keep going. So now right here, when the cops can arrest anybody they choose that they can arrest, and we give them the discretion for that, that's why we need a third-party organization. Until we get to a third-party organization that has subpoena power and arresting power and is autonomous. See those 3 points right there? Don't come to me and say Citizen Review Board. Don't come to me and say, oh, we're going to, no. A new third-party organization that has autonomy, that has subpoena power, and has arresting power. And what does that third-party organization do? It gets all the body cam footage, and it gets all the dash cam footage. I talked to a girl today on Bumble. I was texting back and forth with this little babe on Bumble. And she started to show me the Arizona laws about how the body cams work, and you and I can't get access to the body cams. We need a third-party organization that collects all the body cam footage. We shouldn't have tax-funded body cam footage that we don't get access to. And that's exactly what we've been dealing with. Until we have a third-party, and I call it the Montesquieu Agency, based on Charles de Montesquieu and his book, The Spirit of Lawz from 1750. Spirit of Lawz is about checks and balances on power, That's what Spirit of Lawz is about. You can read his entire 29-book series on YouTube for free, just in case you guys know. Spirit of Lawz. Put on your thinking cap when you listen to that on YouTube, because it's quite complicated. Okay. So now, until we have a third party that literally, when a cop goes to arrest someone, the third party goes, what are you doing? And the cop says, oh, the guy's jaywalking. And you go, well, leave him alone. Until we get a third party, we're going to have constant tyranny in our country. We won't have, we give police absolute power to undo what's going to take the rest of my life and the rest of yours. So until we get to that third party organization, we're going to have some major problems in this country. We're going to have some major problems. So cool. And then a friend called me today, a friend who's a YouTuber. He called me last night, and he explained to me that well, thank you, Huey. I appreciate it, but it's gonna have to be all of us. I'm gonna need all of your help. That's why I'm creating a decentralized autonomous organization so that you guys can vote with your money. You vote with your money. And that creates our agency. That creates our actual agency. It's not up to me. It's up to you how you vote. You create a contract, you put the contract out, the every member of the community votes on it, and then that's the new bylaws of the TAC agency. And so that's where we got to get to. You know, you and I have to get there together where we have a decentralized organization that we all control. And by the way, I'm not telling you guys some stuff about how the actual application works, how it actually works. It is the coolest thing ever. So those auditors who are not live streaming, after TAC comes out, after the Terry Auditor Coin comes out, you're definitely going to want to live stream more than you record and post. You're definitely going to want to live stream more. All auditors out there, you guys are going to want to know this. You definitely want to start, when the Terry Auditor Coin comes out, you're going to want to live stream through one of the big services more than you post. And by the way, we're not going to be beholden to any company, any one big company anymore because of decentralized autonomous organizations. That's what's happening. Our world is changing right now. It's now. It's so exciting. It is so exciting. So, I mean, I just want you guys to be ready for it. It's about to come out. So, and Asa, what I'm thinking about, and look, we can't put the cart in front of the horses. We got to get the horses to pull. Tom Zebra's amazing, by the way. I don't know Tom, but I'm a huge fan of Tom Zebra's work. He never backs down. He's always willing. So what I've seen so far of Tom was he's willing to take the ride, and he doesn't want to be arrested for no reason, but I've seen Tom fight the good fight for sure, for sure. TAC, the Terry Auditor Coin. So you guys can watch this from the beginning. I'm at 67 minutes. I better get the hell out of here. I've got to finish a video I'm doing tonight. Did you guys see the handcuff video? Did everybody see the handcuff video? Do you understand that handcuffs are torture? Do you guys understand that? Do you guys understand that handcuffs are torture? Does everybody understand that? And we need to start this immediate push to get handcuffs banned. Did everybody see the video of the handcuff today? The video I put up this morning of my cousin and I handcuffed her. Terry Auditor Coin is TAC. It's the Terry Auditor Coin. It was torture. And listen, that was my cousin, and I had to grab the cuffs and squeeze them and twist them on her a little bit. And I knew that it would hurt her a little bit, and I didn't want to hurt her, but I did. I hurt her a little bit because I wasn't trying to hurt her. What did you guys notice the biggest thing about that video, about the handcuff video? The very first thing that I noticed as I was editing that, what I noticed was that as soon as I put the cuffs on her, her face showed the pain. So then why do we allow police to put us in immediate pain upon detention? Which detention is a big farce as well as from Terry. It's all garbage. But why do we allow the police to torture us upon interaction with us? Exactly correct, Deborah. Exactly correct. The Terry Auditor Coin. It's coming. It's coming right now. It's coming right now. Like, we're building it right now. It's really exciting because I'm tired of being powerless. I'm tired of being powerless. I'm tired of, unless you know the laws inside and out like I do, I've seen plenty of good auditors get arrested for no good reason. For no good reason. And so, you know, it's going to take her a minute. I haven't got into that with her, but she told me today her bones are still hurting. Her bones are still hurting. She said her wrist bone still hurts. She still feels the indentation on her wrist bone from the cuffs. You know, yeah, Paulie G. I don't have bad shoulders, but I have big shoulders. I have really big shoulders from wrestling and fighting my entire life. So my shoulders that I have created to be this size from wrestling and fighting, when you pin my wrists behind my back, it's only like 5 minutes before I'm in excruciating pain. Okay, so Sorry, there was not a lot of education tonight. There wasn't a lot of education tonight. I just wanted to get you guys excited about the Terry Auditor Coin. I wanted to get you guys prepped and ready for that. Some people are contacting me and asking how they can get in, and we're just in the beginning right now. So it's coming where everybody's going to be able to get in. It's super exciting. And the people who follow this channel, that subscribe and watch this video, you guys will be the first people. You'll hear first from my channel that we've launched the coin and you can get it, and it'll be on the exchange and the whole thing. So we're just a few more steps away from having that coin ready for everybody to be able to get in. And remember, if you're not an actual auditor, or you're not a lawyer who's fighting for justice, or you didn't learn the law, then you are a person of justice who supports those people. That's, you know, and you have to decide, is that what I am? Am I a person of justice? Is that what I am? You know, so it is literally the most exciting thing that I've been a part of in years. You know, and just so you know, the timeline that I built, it went from coast to coast, to Germany, to France. People called me from around the world. Dude, we saw your timeline because TikTok went viral. I didn't care. I still don't care. I don't care. Having people follow me and like me, great. Who take that and 50 cents and go buy a newspaper, because there's still Terry stops happening tonight. There's still people who are going to be put in shackles and put in a dungeon tonight based on unconstitutional, unlegislated judiciary activism is what the Supreme Court is. And so until we get it, until we get to that point where we overturn Terry and we create the Terry, you know, I haven't had this level of excitement. I think since I opened the Manhattan office for that advertising agency in 2013. I think I opened that agency in 2013 in Manhattan. That was pretty exciting because I got to run this big company. It was exciting, and so that was a real exciting thing. And thanks for the super chat. I don't know who sent me that super chat, but thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. It means a lot. It really does. You have no idea. You have no idea, because, you know, I mean, just so you guys know, when I got hit with cancel culture, I had a zero income for over 2 months, for 2 straight months where I didn't make $1. It was hell. And so now that I'm finally getting back on track, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. So, so any other questions or anything from anybody? And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to finish an edit tonight of a dog attacking a doctor. That'll come out tomorrow. I have an audit of a dog attacking a doctor. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I've got a PayPal. You know what? I should do that right now. If you guys want to support, let me show you guys the. These are my cup of coffee funds here, right here. This is my Venmo. You guys can get this poster right here. You can get on DeleteLawz.com. If you don't have the money for the poster, and I'll give it to you digitally for free. I sent off 20 free posters today. No bones about it. I love doing it. DeleteLawz@gmail.com. If you want to order a poster, you can get one at DeleteLawz.com. My donation site on here doesn't work. And so these are my cup of coffee funds here. This is my Venmo. If you want to take a screenshot, I do appreciate it. This is my Cash App. If you want to take a screenshot, I do appreciate that. Thank you for your support. And then this is my PayPal. They're all the same. They just have slight variations of my own name. And thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you guys want to come in and contribute towards TAC right away, don't hesitate. Hit me up right away, you know, and then let me know your full name and stuff. And I'll make sure you guys are some of the beginners of it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. So there's those things. And then I absolutely got to wash this shirt. I'm overdue on doing laundry here. I'm overdue on doing laundry. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. So listen, until we get to a place where fundamental change happens, I won't be happy. You understand that? I'm not going to settle. I haven't put myself in front of a raging bull, not a matador. I put myself in front of a raging bull, which is the criminal justice system, which is police. The reason why I'm doing it is for fundamental change. Not kind of change. Not, oh, you got 100,000 subscribers. I'm grateful, right? Fundamental change. Back to the Bill of Rights. The promise of the Bill of Rights has never come true. We have never lived up to a Bill of Rights standard. Never. We have never, ever lived up to a Bill of Rights standard. We have never been free. Never. And we have watched the black community get decimated by laws being created to strip them of their fundamental rights. And you wonder why black people don't trust the government when it comes down to the global medication. I don't either. Until we get to a place where our Bill of Rights is a real thing, you're not going to see me celebrating zippity doo dah zippity a. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I've said that too many times on this broadcast. I just don't care unless it's real. Unless it's real, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, we got to get rid of the handcuff thing. Yeah, Slyster, I don't know if I sent your t-shirt yet. Oh, by the way, you guys, the t-shirts should be done tomorrow or the next day here in Phoenix. I got a new t-shirt company. If you guys ordered t-shirts, I'll probably reach out to you again tomorrow or the next day t-shirts are done, just to double check the addresses and stuff. The smalls, the 2 smalls I could have sent already. I just have not had 2. I was so sick the first 3 days I was here in Phoenix. Obviously, you don't care what you don't care about what you say you're about. Not going to get my attention, baby. Not going to get my attention. We have to stay focused. And the mistake that I made on TikTok was allowing trolls and people who said stupid things to me to get me off track. When the truth is, overturning Terry and creating a system for us has always been the goal. And I'm not going to let people who say stupid things to me, I'm not going to let them take me off track. I'm going to stay focused on the people who are here to create the proper organization and to actually overturn Terry versus Ohio and Carroll versus United States. Those are the first 2. I think I got a XXX shirt coming out. Is T. Roy still in here? There you go, Sly Shy. I added you as a moderator, Sly Shy. If you want to boot the trolls, you can block a troll from my channel forever. I never want to hear from them again. I don't care. I think that's been the theme of this particular live broadcast. I don't care. So, Terry Auditor Coin, guys. Terry Auditor Coin's coming. The Terry Auditor Coin is coming, which is the tip of the spear, so that we no longer have to back down to these tyrants when they decide that your rights don't count because no one's going to back you up. That's the most important thing. The Terry Auditor Coin will bail out the auditor. It'll bail out the auditor. It'll pay his day wages, and it'll hire the attorney to file the 1983 against the cop for violating his civil rights. That's what the Terry Auditor Coin does. That's what it does. And so everything else to me is just secondary nonsense. Secondary nonsense. I just do better when I don't read the comments, guys, because I never know how to take things. You know, I do appreciate some nice things people say. It's just number 1, it's either endorsing your ego, which mine's already big enough, or number 2, it's someone who wants to throw you off track. You know, every once in a while, there's an actual question about law or about fundamentals or about understanding the Constitution and the Bill of Rights that I can answer the question. But 8 out of 10 of the things in comments are, you know, either they'll make your head too big when you haven't accomplished anything, or it'll throw you off track by someone saying something ridiculous to you that they don't have a mission in life. They have no purpose. Their mission and purpose in life is to throw you off. That's what their purpose is. So thanks, Paulie. Appreciate it. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? I will read comments here for just a minute or 2 and make sure that I get back to anybody. Someone sent me an email the other day about a guy who's in jail and the bail was only $5,000. And I said, let's do a GoFundMe. And she said, no. And I said, why aren't we doing a GoFundMe for the guy? $5,000 bond is not that hard to come up with that much money. And she said, no. If she's watching this, I want to do a fund for your brother. Even though it's going to take away my focus a little bit, I want to get your brother out of jail. I don't want your brother to sit in jail, you know? Yeah. Just so you know, Nikola Tesla, this last thing he said to his mother before he died was that For all of the public good he's done, he's received nothing but ridicule and scorn. And so, you know, I don't want to end up that kind of bitter at the end of all this. I'm just going to focus on the people who are here, that are supportive, that contact me, that reach out to me, that are my friends, that you know. So that's that. I'm just going to focus on the positive. Otherwise, if I focus on the negative, man, you guys have no idea the year I've had. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. But I'm not a victim. I'm not a survivor. I'm neither of those. I'm a free American. And I have every right in the world to stand up and fight for my rights. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm not a victim or a survivor. Those two terms just make me want to vomit. And if you are, then great. I'm happy for you that you decided you're just surviving. I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. I want to push forward, right? I don't want to survive. You know, that's not my mantra. I'm a survivor. No, I'm not a survivor. I'm a thriver. There's a big difference. I'm not going to just survive. You know, that's not, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Mad respect. I'm only a victim of myself. All right. All right. All right. I don't want to sit and bloviate for too long. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. If anybody wants any more information about TAC, reach out to me through DeleteLawz@gmail.com. DeleteLawz@gmail.com. And we will talk a little bit more, okay? And we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. One of the people, good to see you. Polly G, good to see you. I Have Rights, 2021, good to see you. Petchy, good to see you. Thank you. T-Roy, thank you for moderating. Deborah, good to see you again. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your support, guys. I appreciate it. My cousin Tani appreciates all the nice comments you guys have dropped for her. That's super great of you guys to say such nice things to her. She's not a personality. She doesn't spend time on TV or on YouTube. So, yeah, your t-shirt's coming. Sly Shy, your t-shirt is coming. I actually, look, Sly Shy, send me your address. And then Omari, send me your address as well. I have balls now. I got to Phoenix. I was so sick. I was so sick. For 3 days, I was so sick. And then I can send it to you. Yeah, we can have TAC done by March. I think so. So it's almost done now. We're just in the very beginning of it. Yeah, make sure you just send me your address again. Yeah, she's great, isn't she? Cousin Tani is great. She's reading all the comments now, by the way, guys. She's reading all the comments on her video where we put her in cuffs. She's reading all the comments. So don't hesitate to throw up something beautiful for her and say something nice to her. So persons of justice and auditors and people who are the tip of the spear, thanks for your support. My t-shirt's right here. This is the only t-shirt I have. And by the way, guys, I got, you know, another 2 dozen coming. I got some sweatshirts coming as well. These are coming this right now this week. So it just says Overture Terry, yes, ask me. So if you guys want a t-shirt, I'll have more, but I'm not going to sell any more until I get this first batch out, and that'll be done this week, and then I'm shipping them all this week. So I just had to get a new place, and the new t-shirt place is called Image 3 or Print 3. I've already said it, but I'll post the video of me at the t-shirt shop so you guys know your t-shirts are coming. You know what I mean? I can't stand it when I give somebody money and then I don't know when my t-shirt's coming. So literally your t-shirts are almost done right now. So I'm just waiting for the shirts to get done printing. Okay. All right, guys. Listen, thanks for the time tonight. Thank you for Yeah, I haven't been back there yet just because I got to go to court. As soon as I go to court. Remember, guys, stay focused. It's Overturn Terry. That's the most important thing. And thanks for no cop sucking ever. Thanks for coming by, guys, and I'll talk to you guys real soon, all right? God bless you. God bless the United States. And I'll talk to you guys as soon as I come back on, all right? All right. Later, guys.